This is part 6 of my video series. This is how to fix and identify problems with CPAP. The more people understand about the entire process or about their disease, the more invested they are in fixing it or getting better or understanding it. And so that's what this entire video is for. Now, first, an introduction. My name is Jason. I'm a registered polysomnographic technologist. Now, many of you already know me from my YouTube series. I try to bring you information that you need, and I try to do it in a fun way. This video is not going to be that. I'm going to try to get right to the point on all of these. We might have a little fun, but not too much. So I look at this as you guys are my extended family. I want you guys to get better. And if you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the comment section down below. One more point that I need to bring up is this video is sponsored by me. Amazon purchases are at an all-time high, so please consider using my Amazon affiliate link down in the description box below.
Are you not using the affiliate link? You make Boof McTavish pause on drinking his mocha latte capilata papa?
You can use my Amazon affiliate link for anything. Just know that whatever you buy, anything at all, I earn on all qualified purchases.
Boof is tired of being poofed up!
Wow, that's a great price!
Boof McTavish always uses the affiliate link.
So really there's only a few problems with CPAP and CPAP therapy. Sometimes when you're using it and things are falling apart, you feel like you're not rested in the morning. There's really just a couple variables, and if they're both off or even one's off, it just feels like the end of the world and nothing's gonna get better. In general, there's like 3 problems that I consistently identify in people when I'm doing one-on-one therapy sessions over the phone. Is they either have the wrong mode of therapy, actually kind of rare. Really common though is they're on the wrong pressure. And third is they have a mask or a mouth leak that is diminishing the effectiveness of the CPAP pressure that they're on. How would you even address any of these? Well, number one, the one method I like to use is using Oscar. You don't have to use that, but Oscar is a free program. I'll list the link to it here somewhere. It's a program that allows you to take the SD card out of your CPAP machine, you put it in your computer, you upload it into this free software, and you can look at every single breath you took that night. Now I understand you probably don't know what you're looking for. Luckily, I have several videos which I'll link to of how to evaluate it. It's not gonna show you everything you need to know, but it gives you a good idea of what you're looking for. The other thing is if you are by any chance having a hard time with it, through my company, I do one-on-one evaluations of this data. It's called data analysis. I will go over several weeks of data with you. I'll identify problems that you're having and I'll let you know how to fix them. But let's put that aside for now. You can probably do all of this on your own. So without Oscar, how can you identify some of these problems? Well, now with the wrong mode of therapy, you're probably gonna have to use a program like Oscar, unfortunately. Really, you need to identify if there are actual central apneas occurring. If you are seeing a lot of central apneas, actually it could be that you're on the wrong pressure. You might need to be on a lower pressure. If you're already on bi-level or something, it could be that you need to be on something like an ASV, or you need to be on something like VAPS. Now, if you haven't already watched it, I already mentioned these other devices and modes of therapy in a previous video. I believe it was number 3 in the series. But usually labs are pretty good at identifying these right off the bat, though not always. So just sticking to the wrong pressure, you know if you're on the wrong pressure because you still hear snoring is one, and snoring would be a sign that you have too little pressure. The other thing is if your spouse or bed partner hears you stop breathing still. This is pretty uncommon, but sometimes the snoring actually does occur. So what do you do about it if you're having snoring or you feel like you're on the wrong pressure? Well, you can go to your doctor first and ask them to either increase the pressure or decrease the pressure, or look at the mode of therapy and see if it's right. If they balk at that, there's other things that you can do. I have 2 videos that show you how to change the pressure on your own using both the ResMed AirSense 10 as well as the Philips Respironics Dream Station. It shows you how to access the clinical menu and make these pressure changes. Now don't just do it because you feel like it, but actually use Oscar to try to identify that you are on too little of a pressure. And please look at my Oscar series or Sleepyhead series,
same program,
of how to evaluate this pressure. So another problem with CPAP therapy and being on the wrong pressure is a lot of times people go home with this wide open pressure. They'll either be on like 4 to 20 or 5 to 20 on APAP. And so it's this huge range. So they turn on the machine and it starts off at like 5. And oftentimes people need like 8, 10, 12 centimeters of water pressure for their treatment. Well, in that time, basically you have to suffer because that's the way the algorithm is set up. If you have 3, 4, or 5 apneas per this period of time, then it'll trigger it to go up a little bit. So it can take the machine a good hour, hour and a half before it finally ramps up. And what you'll notice is even if some machines do ramp up faster than others, like the ResMed, it'll take small changes in your breathing. It'll extrapolate that as to being a huge problem, and it ramps up the pressure too much. So you're getting these wild swings in pressure when you have a range that is wide open, like 5 to 20. And I'm not even saying that that range is bad. because oftentimes you'll find that when it does ramp up high, you'll see a period of nice sleep at, say, 10 centimeters of water pressure, or maybe 8, or maybe 16. But you'll see where that pressure is actually best for you. So long term, having a range of 5 to 20 is a horrible idea, but short term, it's really not all that bad. But after a period of like 3 weeks to 4 weeks, you do want to snug that up. Or you may even want to consider going to 1 static pressure. I find that going to 1 static pressure actually yields the best results because it's one less variable for your body to have to deal with and adjust to. So just know that if you're on a wide range, you probably want to snug that up and find a static pressure, and it's going to help you out more than you think. I'm going to show you a little bit more about how to do it in my next video, but just understand that it is a valuable tool in identifying these problems. Now, the second thing that we need to address is the mouth leak or the mask leak. So if you have a mouth leak, oftentimes you'll feel yourself waking up going with air rushing out of your mouth. And other times, if you have a full face mask, you'll notice yourself on your back, when your jaw relaxes, your jaw falls back, and then you get air leaking out of here. What that does is it decreases the actual pressure that you're on, because it's like having a hole in your car tire and you're trying to pump it up as you're doing it. The PSI isn't gonna be the same in there. Well, the exact same is true with your upper airway. If you have a leak, air is gonna be rushing through, it's gonna be drying out your sinuses, and it's gonna cause the effective pressure to be lower than what it's supposed to be to treat your apnea. So you're gonna feel like hell, and you're gonna wake up with a really dry mouth, whether you have a full face mask or just a nasal mask or a nasal pillow mask. So how do you fix this? There's several things that you can do actually. The one thing that's almost commonly prescribed before anything else, and it probably shouldn't be, is a chin strap. So a chin strap, you wanna find one, like the Ruby chin strap is a really good one. Fits up under your chin and it kind of pulls it up, so it holds it up here. The problem with chin straps is oftentimes they kind of pull back too, and it forces your jaw into your upper airway, making your apnea actually worse. So I kind of hate them. The second thing that you can do is get a double-sided boil and bite mouth guard. Now these are like MMA fighters wear them. You just boil them, bite into them, and what it does is it locks your lower jaw and upper jaw together so you can't move them, and it also kind of keeps your teeth together and lips together. Super effective in preventing this, especially with full face mask. I'd probably do this before anything else with a full face mask. As far as with a nasal mask or nasal pillow mask, it can be pretty effective. The other thing that's effective with all of these is using a soft cervical collar, and it needs to be really snug, fill up a lot of space in here to encourage you to keep your mouth shut. The other thing people will try, and sometimes they're effective or not effective, is tape. They'll actually tape them up. Now I've seen products on the market, one was like called the Pronix or Protonix or something, but it's actually a little piece of tape that goes around here, and it encourages you to keep it shut, but you can still open your mouth a little bit and breathe. And lastly, another thing that you can try is something like denture cream, because it grips. You just take it and apply it with a little thin layer with a Q-tip on your lips, and it really encourages them to stay closed. And then probably the most effective thing that you can actually try, and I'd try this first, is just using the heated humidifier on your CPAP machine. Keeps all the mucosa nice and moist and happy, keeps it from inflaming. Oftentimes will keep your mouth from opening up. In cases where you have things like a deviated septum or chronic congestion, you're definitely gonna wanna start with a full face mask first, because it just really solves the problem right from the start. Other problems with therapy not being effective are using masks that really aren't appropriate for you or don't fit your face. So one thing like people don't realize is with masks, the fit of them, if you're using a nasal pillow mask, you want the openings of the nasal pillows to be as big as possible on the inside of your nose without spilling out into them. If they're too small, you're gonna get that rush of air that really dries out the inside of your nose. That's one trick a lot of people don't know about. Thankfully, a lot of these come in fit packs, so you can go ahead and change it to the size of nasal pillow that is best for you. If not, you can always ask your home healthcare company to provide you with that different cushion, or you can get that different cushion when you're eligible for one, and typically that's after 1 month or 3 months that you can get a different cushion. The other problem is, as far as masks go with sizing, if you're using like a full face mask, you want the mask to fit, as far as the cushion goes, this is called the Nasian. You want the Nasian to fit the top of the Nasian. You want this to fit down 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch with your mouth slightly open. So like this, and it should fit 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch below on my chin. I'm talking about the cushion. So you see how that fits? That's exactly how it should fit. If you have it like this, that is not fitting because that's on my lip. And if you have it way down here, that's also not fitting. So just be aware that you might have the right mask that's appropriate for you, but you might have the wrong size. And all of that definitely matters. Okay, now if you're having any problems with these, just know that I have that one-on-one data analysis available to you. You definitely don't need it, but if you're just like, wow, this is way over my head, I'm available for you. And we actually do have a very, very high success rate. I believe we've actually helped every single person that's come through there. But really, I honestly believe you can handle this on your own if you just look at the videos and try to figure out what's going on. Okay, that's the conclusion of this video. Now go to my next video that'll be coming out soon, which is accountability of CPAP and how to stay on CPAP.
Thank you to anyone watching this video, but an extra special thank you to my top level Patreon supporters. Thanks buddy to Ken Spackman, Alan Liu, Matthew Gray, Stuart Hetherington, and Mona Swearingen. Thank you and thanks buddy.
Wolf McTavish always uses the affiliate link.